most of the Jedi were wiped out. Not all. Yoda and Luke and Obi-Wan weren't the only Jedi left. There are other Jedi.
You'd hope so.
In the galaxy.
And there's talk Samuel L. Jackson was asked if he would come back for a Sith.
To do what?
Well, because if Darth Maul can survive
in the Clone Wars,
that show is canon. That show is canon.
There's a DLC where Starkiller shows up when Han and Chewie are at the shield station, and he kills them instead of them getting through.
On Endor?
Yeah.
What?
On Endor.
And then DLC...
When they're taking down the shield...
Oh, so Starkiller comes...
And DLC in the first game, Starkiller kills...
because I thought... No, because that game is supposed to be...
And then Leia picks up a lightsaber and she becomes and you have like a mission with her in
That's
the
weird.
second game.
Apparently, but... Fortunately, it's supposed to be canon also.
But like, there's also different ways you can play the game.
I guess.
And you kill Leia.
You kill Leia as a Sith or a Jedi.
I was under the impression that certain things of that
loose,
game
very very loose.
Certain game that was based on that was canon. I know that Star Wars Clone Wars is canon, and Darth Maul does come back. Okay, so if Darth Maul can come back from falling down an endless pit without half a body, and have robotic legs,
which is badass, and like
yeah, but whatever. It's Star Wars. That shit can happen.
So
does he get his hat? Does he get cut in half? Or is it just his arm?
His arm gets cut off.
Well, his arm. Hey, we already know that arms can be redone.
Yeah.
All right.
It happens. and then Darth Sidious electric.
Yeah, and then he falls down the thing. But there's no reason he couldn't have grabbed something after he fell out the window, right?
Or just use the Force to just be alive.
You know what I never understood? And this is just one of those like fan things. You have the Force, right? They can lift things, right? Why can't they fucking fly? Why can't they just lift themselves? They force jump, which is cool. They jump.
Because it takes probably too much concentration.
I can't think of a valid reason why
they should be able to fly.
They should.
They make things float all the time. They don't have to fly fast. They can just float up.
They make things bigger than them fall and move and
yeah.
I think in a fight between Darth Sidious and Yoda, it's hard for them to move those things. So those things are huge, but like I get
it. But he's not as big as those things that he's moving.
And also, it probably takes a lot of concentration to move your own body and be in control of your body at the same time.
I assume it's never touched on.
It's never touched on. Like whatever. Like,
it's always made me wonder because I'm like, there's things where they're falling a long way. And I'm like, well, if you can just slow yourself down, they can fall really long ways and slow themselves down to like, but they never make themselves fly, which is whatever. But there's just something I noticed.
And not even that. If you could just control, like, why not just stand on a piece of whatever and make that fly? And
yeah, or whatever. Yeah,
like Static or whatever. Young Justice.
Yeah. Well, that's not from. He's from Static Shock or whatever. Static Shock. He had his own show at one point.
He's his fucking thing, but like.
Yeah, he floats on a manhole, magnetic manhole. But yeah, but that's just an aside that I've always wondered about. Why can't they fucking fly?